I'm going to be showing you guys how to get rid of common warts. Now, I'm going to go ahead and throw out a disclaimer to each and every one of you. What you're about to see is going to be, well, plainly put, it will hurt. It might hurt. I don't know. I don't know what your pain tolerance is. It will burn the shit out of any wart, or common wart, I should say, that you are actually going to be putting this on. So, do not, if you have a wart on your face or if you have a wart on a genital or your anus, anything like that, other than like an elbow or anything like that, do not try this, okay? Today's, I've got a common wart right here on this finger. Now the camera's getting a little blurry, so you may not be able to see. It's trying to focus. See this kind of this little lump looking thing? I can poke at it right here. See it? Alright, so what I'm going to be doing is, you've probably seen things on YouTube and you've probably seen commercials for people trying to sell you the Dr. Scholl's Freeze Away. That stuff works okay. I've tried it on a wart on my hand, but it grows right back. You probably have also seen, other crap out there where people are trying to sell you this over-the-counter remedy, freeze away. A lot of those things don't really work, okay? Warts actually have a tendency to grow back because you have to get right down into the root of your wart, and if you don't get down into the root far enough, it's going to grow right back. So there's a little secret that I discovered. I've been playing around with a couple different home remedies. The apple cider works great, except it takes a very long time. And given that the apple cider trick works, I actually took it a step further. So here is what I did. Now, I went on Amazon and I found this kit. Now what you're looking at is a gold testing kit. Now each one of these little vials contains a combination of what's called nitric acid and muriatic acid, also known as Aqua Regia. Aqua Regia is used to, in a nutshell, melt down metals, gold in particular. So for all you enthusiasts and hobbies who are familiar with it, and you know that it's very toxic, there's YouTube videos that show you how to do that shit. Be very careful. The cool thing about these is they come in these nice little wonderful bottles, and this is more acid than you will probably ever use in your entire life, especially if you've got an acid. It's a great kit. So if you wanted to go ahead and play around and experiment with gold testing, if you're doing gold buying, things like that, this kit is going to be perfect for that. I'm not doing any of that, but the price was great in consideration of what you get. So you get a gold testing stone thing, and I'm actually going to be using that so that you can see what it is I'm going to be doing, because I'm working on a white surface. So here's my stone. So you're going to have the stone that it comes with. You actually don't need to be using this. You can actually just use a paper towel or sink or whatever you're going to be doing. And it also comes with my acids. Okay? So here's my little vials of acid. Now I haven't opened up all of these. I've actually have experimented with, this one is for testing, actually which one? This one's for testing 24 karat gold. Okay? This one works pretty good on your warts as a starting point. It'll start burning away what you want. I've also experimented what works really well. The ones I've been using the most are the 14 karat and 18 karat gold solutions. Okay? So I'm going to go ahead and get started now, and I'll show you and pause and kind of go from there. Now the first trick to getting rid of your wart is you want to go ahead and use either a cutter of some sort. I usually just use a nail file. The little wart that I showed you here earlier, so you can probably see it right here. See it? I'm poking at it right now. Now what you want to do is when you cut it, you want to cut just far enough to where you feel a little bit of discomfort in your finger. That's how you actually know you're getting down to the root. If you're cutting, basically the first layer of tissue is like a callus, and you want to cut that layer of skin that's become calloused. So we're just going to cut this off. I'm going to pause my video for a second so I can go ahead and cut it off, and then I'll go ahead and show you. Alright, so I went ahead and cut off the skin. Now over here you'll see this is the actual chunk of wart, the callus skin that I went ahead and cut off. And you want to be careful that you don't actually touch this stuff with other parts, non-infected parts of your body, because you can actually, well, there's a possibility that you can actually infect another finger or another part of your hand that you don't want to infect. So use the nail clipper, cut it off, use a toothpick or part of the paper towel that I'm using. Now,
you won't be able to see it probably here on camera.
But when you actually start to get down into the root, you're going to start to see little dots. You may be able to see them. You see, it looks kind of like little pores. You see these little dots? That's actually basically you're getting down into the root of the wart. So what I'm going to be using is I'm going to be using the 14 karat gold solution, acid solution. Be very careful again when you're using this that you don't get it on other parts of your body. You may actually want to wipe. It's going to kind of have a tendency to run all over your hand. You really want to go ahead and just get very light drops. I'm going to do this 3 times, and any excess acid that's going to go ahead and spill over, I'm going to go ahead and just wipe it off. I'm actually going to be using Q-tips to wipe some of that, so I'm going to go ahead and get started. Alright, so I've got my handful of Q-tips here to do some of the wiping, and we're going to go ahead and get started. Another thing I forgot to mention, there's a pretty good possibility that as you're pouring some of the acid on your finger, you're going to see a white smoke or a white fume coming off out of the bottle and or out of your finger. You guys might see this in the video. Very important, do not breathe that in. If you breathe that in, you will actually damage your lungs and you will burn your nostrils. It's very important you do not breathe any of the fumes when you're working with this acid, okay? So it's not only corrosive to metals in your skin, it can also do a lot of internal damage. So again, be very, very, very careful. So I'm going to go ahead and get started. Alright, just very gently. Be very, very careful. Getting a drop on here. Now you may feel a little bit of a sting. Alright, so I've got it on there. And I'm just going to wipe up some of the area where I don't want the acid to be. Okay, let's see if I can flip it upside down. So you see now how it's more noticeable, the area where I actually cut off the skin. That's the acid starting to work on my finger, and it's slowly eating away at basically the layers of skin. So everybody is going to have a different pain tolerance. Right now I actually do not feel any pain or discomfort whatsoever. As you start burning down through the layer, it might get a little bit more and more uncomfortable. You actually experience the same thing with the cider acid remedy, or the cider vinegar remedy, because it is an acid. It's just over time it basically begins to break down the skin, and you begin to feel, whoop, there's some of that smoke, begin to feel some discomfort. Oh, sorry. I was trying to make sure I didn't breathe in some of this smoke. So you might be able to see it coming off my finger. Maybe, maybe not. It's just a very light haze that's coming off my finger. You guys actually may not be able to see it though. That's alright. So just wipe again. Wipe the area where you don't want the acid to eat away on your skin. You just want to get down to the point where you're going to start to feel a little bit of a discomfort. It's going to be like a little bit of a stinging feeling. It's a good close-up look. So you see, that's what it's going to look like over time. And so basically, you want to go ahead and pour some acid a few times, and then eventually, here's another finger where I put the wart. So I put the acid a couple times. Now you can see actually where the wart is, or was I should say. The actual wart was here on my thumb. This is actually the wart. This right now is all of the skin where the acid has eaten. It is very normal for your skin to turn a yellowish brown, and you'll actually see that the wart itself is going to turn brown to a black. When it turns that brownish black color, that means you're actually killing the root and you're getting down into the wart itself. So this is what your finger's actually going to look like after a couple days of treating the wart. It's going to go ahead and get this yellowish brown. So after you're done with treating your finger with the acid, it's very important. Wash your hand. What I do after this, after I've treated it a couple times, I rinse it off really well with just water, cold running water. I do that for 2 to 3 minutes, and then I wash my hands with soap and water, and you just want to go ahead and do that multiple times. Yeah, that's pretty much it. So I'll go ahead and post another video. Sorry, my finger's shaking. I'll post another video in another 2 or 3 days and show you what the wart's going to look like then. But you can already start to see that it's actually already starting to turn kind of yellow.